Julia Spencer is a real estate investor with over 25 years' experience who owns multiple investment properties. She's a single mother of two who moved to the U.S. in 1993 with only $20 in her pocket. She currently holds an MBA. Julia Spencer is neither a realtor nor an attorney, and the contents of this recording are only her opinions. Get her free guide to investing at juliamspencer.com. I'm your host, Dr. Steve G. Jones, multimillionaire and hypnotherapist. My website is stevegjones.com. Essential Landlord Guide. Module 12, Dealing with Tenants.
Hi, this is Julia M. Spencer, real estate advisor, investor, and enthusiast. And I want to talk in this module a little bit about how to properly deal with tenants. This is a really long subject, and I want to talk about a few of the stories that I have experienced that might be helpful to you if you become a landlord or if you own property. And even if you have property managers, eventually at some point you may run into your tenants. Of course, if you have a lot of vacation rentals like I do, then more than likely you will have contact with your customers or your guests in that case. And so you really need to know some of the do's and don'ts about how to deal with tenants properly and the people that are basically paying your mortgages and paying off your properties and generating your living. So I wanted to talk about a few things in that regard. First off, one of the things that I always try to emphasize is deal with the people that come to you and that pay you money to stay at your places at an arm's length. And what that means is basically you want to be friendly with them and you want to be nice to them and you want to treat them professionally, but you still kind of want to keep them at arm's length. And I emphasize this because I've done this several times and a lot of times this went really sour. But if you start renting your places or having as guests people that are your friends or your family, you're no longer arm's length, which can cause a lot of problems. So what does that mean, arm's length, then? And why can't you rent to your people that are in your family or friends? And why does that even matter? Well, let me give you a couple of examples, and some of the things might come very clear to you. Recently and even a long time ago, and I kind of thought I got rid of this practice, but I basically rented properties to some friends of friends, some recommended friends from somebody else, and then I went ahead and rented my house to them. And you don't want to have to rent to friends unless you plan on not having them as friends anymore, or you can for sure guarantee that they're going to be great tenants. So there's a couple problems here. If you start having some issues with these particular tenants or guests, and you voice your complaints, first off, what can happen is they're not going to take you seriously, and they're basically going to ignore you and going to continue whatever it is that you're doing that you don't want them to do, such as trashing your place or not keeping it up like they're supposed to, not doing what you asked them to do. I've had tenants that came and brought their pets or several pets, didn't clean up after them, didn't clean the place, didn't keep it nice and clean. And even after repeated attempts of me resolving the issue, they basically said, well, you're my friend, give me a break, I'm trying to blah, blah, blah. I have a hard time. And the same goes for rent payments. This is actually more serious because if you don't get your rent payment, obviously you can't pay for your expenses. So, and it's hard to have to keep on your friends because they get annoyed, they get upset, and you basically are going to lose your friendship. So as soon as you rent to friends and you think you're doing them a favor because you're a friend and you want to help them out, but you're jeopardizing your friendship. If your friendship is not worth that much and you don't care whether you keep them as friends or not, by all means. But I would recommend you to keep your friends as friends on arm's length and don't make them your tenants. That's a big thing. Now, this is a little bit less serious if you have vacation rentals, because usually people don't stay for very long when they're vacationers. However, and this has happened to me too, I have rented to some children of friends, some of my vacation rentals. They wanted to come to the beach. They asked me, hey, you have vacation rental. Can we just stay there? This was a daughter of a friend of mine, and she brought all her friends. And long behold, they stayed in my vacation rental for 2 or 3 days and started in, basically trashing the place.
For your free guide to real estate investing, visit juliamspencer.com.